Welcome to Accountability Corner. My name is Anthony Roberts, and in this edition of Accountability Corner, we're going to talk about something that I get asked about a lot of times, and I even do training on, but most people really don't understand it, and it's diversity. Most people think when you give diversity training, and I was in the military for 11 years, and I'm sure a lot of you have been in the military, and I don't know if it's changed in the military, but when I was in the military, diversity training was more like, well, let's tell you why you should like everybody, why it's the right thing to do. So you got to like everybody, and it makes the workplace a better place. Well, if you've ever had that training, you probably figured out that just because they tell you to like somebody doesn't mean you're going to. That's not going to make you like anybody. In fact, usually that'll make you sort of dig in and stand your ground. You might change your behavior a little bit, but the negative behaviors and thoughts will still be there because somebody telling you to do something doesn't mean anything to us. So what you have to do is understand diversity before you can get diversity training or give diversity training. When people don't dislike other people because they're black or gay or straight or homosexual or heavy, people dislike the culture of the other person. So it's really not, and we tend to think that people focus on the aesthetic differences, what they look like, but that's not what bothers people about other people. What bothers people is their beliefs, what they believe, their belief systems, how they live, how they think, how these people think it's okay to live like this, but you believe it's okay to live like this, and this is wrong. So really diversity comes down, you have to help people understand how the other person's belief system is not a threat, it's not bad, it's just, it is what it is, and it doesn't affect you. And so you don't have to spend time not liking it or resisting it or hating it or even thinking about it for that matter. Diversity is about beliefs, and that's something that most people don't understand. So when you want to provide diversity training, you don't provide a feel-good class and you're supposed to like women, you're supposed to like blacks, you're supposed to like this. That's not diversity training. That is a total waste of time. What you do is get into the beliefs of it and find out what is the beliefs, what is it that you don't like about those people. In other words, you show and compare beliefs and you show people how to understand their beliefs. You have to remember, most of the people that we're talking about here, they were trained by others to believe what they believe. There's no basis for these, there's no evidence, there's no fact about it. They're just passing on what they learned from others. And until you learn how to be introspective and really look at your beliefs and weigh them against your goals, you really don't know that these beliefs stand in your way and work against your performance. Well, when you give diversity training and you can show them how these beliefs are not helpful in their pursuit of their own goals, these beliefs actually hold them back from pursuing and obtaining goals, and then you've shown them what's in it for them. And if you know anything about training, what people always want to know is what's in it for me. When you can help somebody see that something's destructive to their own cause, most people will start making adjustments. And they may not do it immediately, but it'll open the door to that thought process. And when you keep enhancing that and adding more information and helping them, then eventually they will change their beliefs because they see I'm working against me. And most of us don't like to work against ourselves. Even though we're pretty good at it, most of us learn from it and say, you know what, that really doesn't make a lot of sense, I'm going to stop that. So when you provide diversity training, you have to address the culture of other people. You have to address the beliefs that people hold. Addressing the aesthetics, how they look, that's not going to fix anything. And telling someone you should be nice to these people or you should be nice to that, and we all bring different things, and then that's great for people who are more relationship based. If you were taking my communication success program, then you know they're called globes. They're more feeling people. They like people, they want everybody to be happy, to get along, everything to be fair. But not everybody sees the world that way. So that kind of training where, you know, we all hug each other and say the world's a beautiful place, that has an effect on those type people, which are a quarter of the population. But others not so much. So you have to be able to show them through logic and fact and reason how hating someone else or hating a type of people doesn't serve you well in a country full of different people. And it's not just some people, and you got to keep this in mind too. Some people look just like you, yet are totally different than you. So when you learn to understand your beliefs and the beliefs of others, and you understand where they come from, then you start to be able to look at another person's belief or listen to another person's belief without feeling negatively. Aristotle said that an intelligent person is a person that can consider a thing without having to accept or reject it. So what you want to do is teach people how to do that, how to be able to look at that belief objectively and say, well, it's not something I want, or it's not something I care about, but you don't have to say, I believe it, I will accept it, I will change. That you don't have to change to work effectively with other people. You don't have to become love this or love that. That's not required. In fact, why should you change you? Now, when you see that there's beliefs in your way of getting what you want, of being effective at acquiring your goals, well then you make the decision to change you based on what you want. But just because someone else says there's something wrong with you, well, that's their opinion, and it doesn't mean anything. Because you know what? You guys could go back and forth all day. What's wrong with each other? But the truth is, you want to learn how to do what's in your own best interest. You want to be selfish enough to take care of yourself. And living in an environment with all different types of people and not liking them for reasons you don't even know because they were given to you by others when you grew up is counterproductive. And a lot of us need to understand why it's counterproductive to us instead of being told that we should just be different. Because telling people to be different, well, if you've done it, you probably know how well it works. Not very well. And it's not effective, and it doesn't even make sense. Why do you know the right way for another person to be? You don't. None of us do. But we can help that person analyze what they want to get out of life, where they want to be, and then we can show them the things that will help them get there and the things that will work against them. So it's all about them. It's not about you and how you believe they should be. Because when you get that, you're just as prejudiced as they are, just in a different way. You don't get the right to tell other people how to be and how to think. If we did, then where would it stop? Who would we follow? Who's the master believer that we all got to copy? So what you want to do is teach people how to be themselves, but be the person that they want to be to get what they want. In other words, learn how to be most effective based on where they want to go. Now, what does that mean? Well, some people may not want to work in an office environment with other people they have to get along with. And that's fine. But if you won't make that change so this can be a smooth, positive environment, then you can't work here. But it's a choice. It's not a, you will change. No. You as a leader, and if you took the leadership courses, the GSE leadership courses from TLI, you would learn, you as a leader offer information, you offer choices. You don't demand anything. You simply say, in order to work here, this is the behaviors that work for us in our environment for what we're trying to do. These behaviors do not fit. So, do you want to work here? Now, that's the bottom line, is you don't try to change them, because when you demand that you will not do this, you will not do that, what happens is, generally, they won't do it in front of you. But they'll still do it because the beliefs are still there. They still don't understand why it's not effective, why it's not in their best interest, why it's not a part of them. You have to help people grow. And you don't beat them into submission, and you don't beat them into change, and you don't berate them, make them feel bad for who they are. You show them how they can get more of what they want by being more effective at what they do. So people get to make a choice, is the first thing you want to teach in diversity. Your choices are based on who you are and where you want to be. Now, if you want to be out in the desert mining something or doing something, you can be just as cross and as coarse as you want to be because you're by yourself. But in different environments, especially in work environments and things like that, there are ways that you want to adjust so you can fit and be effective and work well with others and accomplish the goals of the organization. So that's where diversity comes from. Diversity comes from showing people what's in their best interest, and then showing them how to understand beliefs, accept beliefs, analyze beliefs, and stop hating beliefs. Stop caring about beliefs that are not theirs. Just recognize them, make a note of it, and move on. You don't spend any time judging it whether it's right or wrong, because another person's beliefs are their beliefs. Just because you were raised differently and think differently doesn't make you right, but it doesn't make you wrong either. So, you know, if you look at it, diversity is truly allowing people to be Catholic and Jewish and all these different religions and ethnicities and colors, and not really thinking about it at all. It doesn't affect you. In other words, you allowing people to be who they are, them allowing people to be you. In other words, who you are. So to be effective, what you do is you focus on you, who you are, who you want to be, what you want to accomplish, and you adopt the behaviors and the beliefs that support that journey that you want to take. And you allow others to do the same thing. So there might be people who just won't get along in the same room because they choose not to, and that's okay. But then they just can't work together. So as an organization, you've got to determine these people aren't going to be able to work together. And if they can't work together, in some cases, they can't work here. And that's okay. It's their choice, though. It's not you dictating or demanding. It's their choice. So you want to help people understand when it comes to differences in race or gender, you know, sexual harassment. You got to understand the person who's making that remark doesn't see it as harassment. They were raised as, well, this is okay. This is okay. But you have to show them how, okay, the reason it's not okay is because it has a negative impact on the work environment. Is because she no longer feels that she can work here without these comments which offend her. So in order for us to be effective, we've got to have an environment where you don't feel offended, she don't feel offended. So we're not going to ask you to change, we're not going to ask her to change, but when you come here, the behaviors you have to choose, do you want to fit in and work here or not? Because that kind of behavior doesn't fit, because this is the environment it is. We're working with these people to get to these goals. We need those people. We would like to have you on the team. However, we can't do both. So either you want to change your behaviors or you want to choose a different environment. But this one doesn't allow for that. And so again, you give them the choice. Once you give them the choice, then you have to enforce that choice of, okay, we talked about this. This is where it is. You made a choice, and I appreciate that. And you do what you got to do. Bottom line is diversity is about beliefs. It's about culture. It's not about color, and it's not about gender. So when you get diversity training, when you give diversity training, help them understand how to understand their own beliefs, where they came from, other people's beliefs, where they came from, why they hold them, why they have them, and then give them the power to identify beliefs that do not help them in their journey, and give them the power to be able to isolate and remove those beliefs based on who they are and where they want to go in life. Don't tell them what to do. Help them choose the path to their own success, because you'll find that that's a whole lot easier than trying to tell them what to think. Some people are amenable to that, and most people aren't. Most people have their own mind, and today people are more intelligent, they're more open. You know, even if they're closed, they can see that this is not in my best interest. And so I'm going to need to see, is that really something helpful in my life or is it not? But you got to show them, you got to give them that power, because most people are not introspective. So diversity. If you want to give them training, which you should, do it by addressing what the actual issue is. It's the differences in beliefs and culture. It's not the differences in colors and genders. Thanks. Like the video, comment on the video, give any questions or any feedback. I'll be happy to have it. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Subscribe to the channel and give us and let me know your feedback. Let me know what you think, and like the video.